Topic 2, we're going to go through all the third-party guys that have conferences. So Bethesda, EA, and Ubisoft. Let's start with Bethesda. Dishonored 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. Yeah.
So demo, release date?
Yeah, you would assume so. November probably.
They've talked about it long enough.
Arcane's ready to go.
It's been known long enough.
Yeah, Arcane's definitely ready to go.
Cool. Fallout 4 DLC.
No, I don't think so. I think you'll talk about Fallout 4. I think we talked a little bit about this on PS I Love You XOXO. I think that the ones they've announced are the ones that you're going to get. And I think it's time for them to move on. And I think they're going to go quiet.
And Far Harbor was the big one. So it's like, you have a couple of supplemental. If anything, it gets mentioned in and we also still have exciting things coming for Fallout 4 on top of Far Harbor, which we just released.
Yeah,
for mods on these,
Yeah, I think they talk about mods. I think they talk about sales. I think they talk about the sustained support of it, new patches. I don't know that they want to do more content for Fallout 4. I don't know that it behooves them to do that. It just doesn't seem like Fallout 4 has the same buzz that Fallout 3 had. So, it has a substantial buzz. It's a fucking massive game, but, contextually speaking, I don't know that it's worth it for the new to do that. And Fallout 3 had 5 pieces of DLC, including only one Far Harbor type piece of DLC, which was Point Lookout. So I think it's obviously going to be there, but I don't know that it's going to be a linchpin. I don't know that anything from Bethesda Game Studios is going to be a linchpin at this particular conference. That was last year.
Skyrim. Do you think we'll see an HD collection version, whatever, for Elder Scrolls?
I don't, but I
don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility. I don't think you will, but I don't think it's crazy.
No, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. It might be too hard to judge because, this is what I was saying at PS I Love You XOXO. It might be a little too harsh, but it's just to say, I think people are kind of over this shit now. In a way where it's just like, let's see what you have, go away and, make something like we just got The Witcher 3. We just got Dying Light. We just got Far Cry 4 and Far Cry Prime with these open world games that look better, that run better, that play better, that are more fun. You gotta figure it out, and so just take your time. You made hundreds of millions of dollars on this game. Just go away.
But keep in mind, that's the thing. This is a workaround. A collection would be a workaround to those issues, right? Skyrim is beloved. It's not the same argument or problem that Fallout 4 has because it's contemporary with those. This one is a callback to this world you did love. It's beautiful. It's still the same gameplay. It's still a clunky here and there, but it's not on the same level of comparing it to Witcher 3. I'm with you.
It could be. The question then is who's porting it and. Because it's not Bethesda Game Studios, and then, which is, possible. They have other studios that can do it. I just think that you remind people of the problems. I think Skyrim was a beloved game. I think it is a beloved game, but it came out 5 years ago. And, let Sleeping Dogs, lie.
Well, so there's Elder Scrolls 6. Any tease?
No way. That game is so far away.
Yeah.
The same studio that does Fallout does the Elder Scrolls game. So there's no way that game's in pre-production, I'm sure, but no, there's no way.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I really do think that Machine Games will be there. So there's conjecture that Machine Games might be working on Quake, which would be cool, but I hope that that's not the case. I think Wolfenstein's going to have a new game. Wolfenstein, The New Order, and The Old Blood were fucking awesome games, and I think that it's time for them to show it. If it's not this year, it's going to definitely be next year, but I think you can see an Arcane-like situation with Machine Games where they show the game and it comes out next fall. But that also doesn't seem to be in line with what Bethesda does. But then again, they did that with Dishonored 2. So Machine Games has been quiet, and I think that it's time. And I'm so fucking excited. That's definitely what I'm most excited about because they are so good, so very good. Yeah.
Doom DLC.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. People love Doom, which I'm happy about. It did a really nice job. The new id.
Evil Within 2.
Yes.
You think it's a teaser trailer or a demo? What are we getting?
I think so. I don't know that you do. So Tangleworks is Bethesda studio that does that game. Evil Within was a surprise hit. I think that's safe to assume. I think it's safely sold much better than they thought it was going to do. I think the critical reception was great. The problem with this is I don't know if you stack Machine Games and Tangleworks in the same space. And I think that Machine Games might be further along. That's my assumption. I don't know for sure because Evil Within seems so tortured that it seems like that studio needs a little bit more time. I don't know that you're going to get both of those, but I think it's going to be one or the other. If it's both, then Bethesda is firing on all cylinders, and that's going to be fucking awesome. But Evil Within 2 is probably a 2017 game, and they're definitely going to do another one.
I could see you getting them both, but I think you just get them in different doses. I think Wolfenstein or whatever Machine Games is working on is ready to go. And if it's Wolfenstein, I think it is. It's out this fall. I think it's that quick. That
would be fucking awesome, but I think that...
But the Evil Within...
The DLC came out last spring, so I don't know that they've had enough time.
Yeah.
We'll see. The good news is that they did develop, as far as I know, they developed all those SKUs internally, and they're not. So the Old Blood, the DLC wasn't on PS3 and Xbox 360, which means they were already walking away from that. With fewer SKUs to make, so only PS4, Xbox One, and PC, it could be quicker for them to make the game. They already have the engine. The engine's already beautiful, already rendering the game really beautifully. So it's possible that it's ready this fall, but I don't know. I think those are both 2017 games. I would love fucking Wolfenstein quicker. That would, the minute that's announced, that's like my most anticipated.
I feel like you
game.
get a deep dive of Wolfenstein at this press conference, whether it's fall or whether it's spring, and I think Evil Within is just a teaser trailer and then the logo at the end.
Do you think that it's possible Machine Games is doing Quake?
Anything's possible, but you'd really hope I think Bethesda's not stupid. I think they saw what happened here with people being excited about this Wolfenstein, this reinvigorated franchise. Finally somebody doing the name proud, finally giving this thing relevance again in the modern day. And I don't think you immediately gamble that away and put them onto Quake and say do it again for Quake.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it's possible Quake is under development somewhere else.
100%.
But I think it would be smart to let them do Wolfenstein one more time, wrap that story up, the new BJ story, and then let them go to Quake and let that be out by 2020 or whatever. I know I said BJ. It's BJ Blazkowicz. Everyone goes. Speaking of BJs, go suck a dick. All right, Greg. Thank you.
Anything else for Bethesda?
I still kick around this idea that Prey comes back, but I don't know who would make. I mean, it's possible. I mean, there are 2 Arcane studios now, aren't there?
Well, there's been a lot of rumors about it coming back. I've seen the last couple of weeks just on.
Yeah, I mean that people have been saying that shit. I mean, I saw Prey 5 years ago. Prey 2.
It looked awesome.
And it did look great.
It was a great demo.
I saw it when Skyrim was revealed. That's how long ago it was. And it looked great. It actually looked better than Skyrim. I think that's enough. When you really think about Bethesda, see what's so intriguing about Bethesda, it's like the mirror image of Deep Silver in my mind. Like Deep Silver started to like rise in prominence a little bit, not as much, but then they just started like getting into bed and releasing random shit that like doesn't behoove like the long-term sustainability of that publisher, right? So you get like Homefront, and you're getting like they have Saints Row, which is great, but then they're getting like Mighty Number 9, which people aren't really caring about, and all these kinds of things. They're just kind of like middling releasing these games. Like Bethesda seems to take care of its portfolio much more, and for them to just release great games from great studios, a few a year, I think is the right way to go for them. I know that doesn't let them scale, but I think if they treat their stuff with great care as they've been doing, I think it behooves them. So I think when you think about Wolfenstein, possibility of Wolfenstein, the possibility of Evil Within 2, obviously Dishonored 2 has already been announced and coming out. You chatter a little bit off Fallout and Doom. That's almost enough. Right? Like I just feel like you just walk away.
Remember last year when we were going into this and doing pre and post on Bethesda, we were like, well, this is awesome. They won't do it again next year. And then they prove you wrong by coming out and having enough games, enough things people care about that they can come out and do another E3 press conference.
It's unbelievable. And if they keep cycling like this, that's why I say maybe you save Evil Within 2 for next year, and that's when you announce Elder Scrolls. Maybe, but I don't know if you do that. Maybe that's when you announce a collection. That's when you bring back Prey. That's when you acquire a new studio. That's when Wolfenstein is kind of coming out, so it gets the Dishonored 2 year 2 treatment. It gets complicated, but I'm actually most intrigued by Bethesda. With the exception of Sony, I'm most intrigued by what Bethesda does because I thought their press conference was quite effective last year.
Do you think that Bethesda makes any appearances at the Big Boys conference?
If they do, it'll probably be at Microsoft. So, although I think that they announced something that just never came to fruition or really is just kind of coming to fruition now, and I feel like it kind of made them look bad. So I don't know that you don't need to do that. If I was one of these publishers, I wouldn't appear at anyone's thing. I just feel like we're doing our own thing. We're agnostic and we love everyone. I mean, I just don't think it's good business. You know, it might be good business on the back end for them because they're obviously getting money, but optically, I don't think it's smart.
The only optic to it is I think it's an old way of thinking in the fact of, oh, well, we are a third party, so not every Xbox fan is gonna watch Bethesda. So if I go to the Xbox conference and appear there, I'm in front of a new audience, when in reality, we all watch the same thing. And when you're doing a pre-show or getting ready for the show you really care about, people are talking about what they already saw. So it's not like you're really losing that many eyes.
Yeah, we'll see.
EA.
Madden.
Okay, obviously sports.
So many sports. Yeah, Madden.
Mass Effect. What do you expect us to get?
Release date.
Really?
Yeah.
Like when you say release date, you mean like February blank or whatever, like a real date.
February 17, whatever it is.
See, I bet we just get a year. I think it'll be like trailer ends. Here's a year.
I disagree.
I'm totally want a fucking release date. Don't get me wrong.
I think they pushed it. I think they probably needed a few more months, and I think that they're ready to. They already have a date internally, probably, and they're ready to go. I think it would be smart to announce that date. You don't want to tease the Mass Effect too much more. People are going to start getting impatient. It was probably a stupid idea if they were unsure the game was going to be ready to announce it. They should have probably waited to announce it this year. But I think they're learning that they couldn't have foreseen that. They probably thought the game was going to be ready. I think that game's safe to go in the Q1, and I think we get a date.
That's awesome. I really, really hope that's true.
Battlefield. We see a demo.
Extended demo.
Oh yeah, Battlefield will be huge, and that game looks great.
Probably multiplayer demo use them.
Yep. Then Star Wars Battlefront. I'm assuming just more DLC, all that stuff. There was the murmurings of a single player like DLC package that could be interesting, but
I think Battlefield 2 will have a single player campaign, and I think they mention it. I think they mentioned Battlefield 2.
Yeah. But they come out and talk Battlefield. Here's DLC. It's a new map. It's this thing. It's a tie into Rogue One maybe, and then here's what we're talking. Where Battlefield 2 is coming. Blah blah blah.
So with Star Wars, what do you think happens? So obviously there's Battlefront DLC talk, maybe Battlefront 2 announcement or something, but anything else?
Yeah, I think Visceral's game gets shown. Although I think that that game's far out. Like so Visceral and Respawn are both working on Star Wars games, third person ones apparently. I think Visceral's way farther along, and so I think that's a 2017 game, and I think you show it. You have to kind of shit or get off the pot with this game at this point. If it's a year to 18 months out, I think it's safe to do it. Star Wars has a lot of fandom, although they have to balance all the stuff with like the Star Wars celebration shit and all that kind of stuff where they're going to announce things with Disney. So, I don't know. You have to balance that stuff out. I think Battlefront is definitely like a safe assumption, but I would love to see Visceral's game, and I think it's time to name it. I think it's time to put a date on it, not a specific date, but a year. Mm-hmm. And show us what it's all about. Bring Amy on stage. Do that kind of thing. I think that'll be great.
I'd like to. I just don't think they're ready.
I believe.
Okay.
I believe. Titanfall 2.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Release date, the whole shebang.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they already talked about how it's going to be a release very closely. Like, we already have a window, actually. I think it's something like
3 weeks before.
It's like September 29 to November 11 or something. Like, somewhere in there we know, because they said it's going to be within weeks of Battlefield, which I think is a huge fucking mistake. But, because they're going to cannibalize their own game, and Call of Duty's going to cannibalize it too. I think you release that thing in the spring, sit on it. But, yeah, Titanfall 2 will be prominently shown.
Anything else with EA worth mentioning?
I mean, I'm thinking, so EA is like, I think you're going to see less mobile and all that kind of shit. Like, that was the really grown moment last year. I think you'll see something from, something Plants vs. Zombies related or Peggle related, which is fine. Some PopGap stuff.
You're going to see them come out with somebody new IPs, new indie stuff that they're trying to go more, something in the vein of Yarny. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get anything from Yarny 2 or whatever, but you'll get something like that, right? Again, we are the company that makes these games that are juggernauts, so we can come out and actually finance these little games, these different experiences.
That'd be cool. And then do you think, goddamn Portillo, 0 fucks given, spraying water everywhere.
Yeah,
does EA come out at anyone's, at PlayStation or Microsoft's?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, when we're going, the Battlefield one at Sony makes
I think
a lot of
Battlefield
sense.
at Sony makes sense, and I think maybe Mass Effect at Microsoft.
But keep in mind, the Battlefield at Sony does get in the way then of the Call of Duty thing Sony's been doing this generation.
Yeah, that's entirely true as well.
Yeah.
But I think that could be that can be in the fine print in the contracts, but I don't think Sony gives a fuck. If that's going to be a problem, it's going to be for Activision, and that could be something that they're not allowed to do, in which case I think you switch those, and I think Mass Effect goes to Sony, and Battlefield goes to Microsoft. Although I think Mass Effect's going to be a safe bet, a secondary or a tertiary safe bet behind Battlefield and maybe Titanfall as EA games that would appear at the conferences. So we'll see.
Ubisoft. Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
All but confirmed.
Just don't even fucking go. South Park, Fractured But Whole. It's the one we all care about. This is where it comes out and it gets fucking blown out of the water. And you show
what do you think
awesome
we get?
stuff.
Do we get a demo? Or do we just get a trailer? Do we get a release date?
I think you get a trailer with gameplay in it, unlike last year's trailer that was just them talking or whatever. I think it is showcasing stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if, it's extended to a point where there's some talking head out there explaining what exactly you're seeing. Like, here, Cartman's dressed as this superhero, and you see he's using this power to do this, that, and the other. And I think it ends with like, we're aiming at spring 2017 kind of thing. Yeah,
I don't know that you put a date on it because of the history of the previous game. Although it is a different studio, there was publisher problems with that game. It caught into space between spaces, and it was amazing that it was still good. It was great, actually. It was a really fantastic game. But per Watch Dogs 2, I think Watch Dogs 2 is imminent. I think Watch Dogs 2 is October. I think that game is almost done. I think that they've been sitting on it for a long time. They learned a lot from the original Watch Dogs, which I think was underwhelming to most people. Watch Dogs 2 is definitely confirmed. I mean, they've been setting stuff. We've seen the logo already. We know everything's out. So
they put out a statement. Ubisoft put out a statement saying that it'll be at E3.
Cool. So yeah, obviously that will be there.
Yeah. And I'm feeling good about it too. I mean, I feel like, looking at Ubi's track record, it's like
Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed.
Exactly.
That's what I always say.
I imagine this being very similar.
Everything I didn't like about Watch Dogs, we fixed in Watch Dogs 2.
Or Mass Effect to Mass Effect 2. I mean, not that I think that all those changes were positive.
Colin just
I think
admitted
Assassin's Creed is super overrated. But yeah, you learn and go Uncharted to Uncharted 2. I mean, yeah, you put out the game, you see what happens. Watch Dogs, see, what people lose sight of with Watch Dogs is that was, first of all, the first next-gen game we had ever seen, which makes it kind of cool when you think about it. We didn't know what it was. We assumed it was from next-gen console. They wouldn't say when they announced it because the consoles weren't out yet.
They showed it E3 after E3 after E3 after E3.
Yeah, and the game was kind of incubating for a while, and I think that they were just the tip of the spear, so it's like hard to know what you're doing right or wrong.
Sure,
and so
100%.
I think that they're just going to go back, and they already have their engine. I don't think they have to like really fuck around with any of that kind of stuff. The game looked fine. I think it's just the way it ran a little bit, and also more of the content and the gameplay. So if they can just nail those things, I think Watch Dogs 2 is going to be a huge step ahead, and that will revitalize what I think is going to be an Assassin's Creed-like franchise that they're going to fucking run into the ground.
I don't believe it's this year is my one thing. That's my one thing. I think that they've been, like the box leaked or whatever, this kid doing is whatever the hell it was today. But I think they're getting ready to get you excited about it. But I find it hard to believe that.
But what comes from them this year then? Because there is no Assassin's Creed.
Well,
Sure.
okay, let's go through this then, and then we can circle back to that. So, Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah, I think that's
Ghost
got to be
Recon's
within
this year.
That's got. Is it? Did they say 2016?
No, but that's my prediction.
Oh yeah, then that's possible. I was going to say it's in the next calendar year, I think. I still think you got to give some of these other games that they've released time to breathe. I think that they just released a fucking Tom Clancy game in December, and then they released The Division. I don't know that you want to like continue to release these games that require groups of hundreds of thousands or millions of people to play it. You know, like you don't want to cannibalize your own shit and then have to worry about getting cannibalized by other games. And I don't think you release that game next to Call of Duty and Battlefield. I think that'll be a fucking major
Ghost
mistake.
Recon Wild is supposed to be this year, according to Ubisoft.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Unless it's a summer game, unless it's soon, which is possible because they showed that game years ago. So it's like,
Ghost Recon?
yeah, didn't they show that game 2 years ago?
I think it was last year was the debut.
Everybody falling out on the ATVs, falling out of the plane or whatever.
Oh, okay. Then no, maybe it's not this year then at all. But I don't think you release that game. They have to be smart about prioritizing when they release these games and managing their portfolios. Like you don't want to go up against Activision games.
No,
and EA games. Like you need to go at your own pace. They wait too long. They're gonna go up against Destiny too, though.
Wikipedia says 2017, so it's one of those games nobody fucking knows.
Division expansions, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Hear a bit about that.
Definitely.
For Honor.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be there for sure. They're going to do more with it. They made a big deal about it last year, and everybody did walk away going, that seemed kind of cool, and we really like that guy's cane. Now we'll get to see like him come back out with the cane and tell us more about the game.
So then we get kind of to the question marks. So, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I don't know. Do we even care? Is that even an E3 game? Do you?
No.
But I think,
if it isn't, then where do you talk about it?
I think it's definitely an E3 game in the sense of where else would they talk about it? Like they would do that for the games journalists. They would do that for the people that are going to be like, oh my God, and freak out in a room full of like-minded people. You know what I mean? And I think that like those moments are things you need to think about when you're creating your press conference.
I mean, for that, what you're talking about, like you're talking about the core gamer, right? Like probably the people watching this. And so I would just do the PSX. And granted, it's not a PlayStation exclusive, but I mean, if you want a room full of fucking dorks like Colin and I, that's the kind where it is like, it's finally happening. Holy shit. Da, 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 da.
Splinter Cell, does it come back?
No,
Eventually not this year.
Yeah, you have so much Tom Clancy shit and gestating. I don't know like why you'd want to get too crazy with it.
Far Cry 5.
No.
Teaser.
No way.
Too soon.
Now here's the Tim Gettys, Pie in the Sky. Prince of Persia. We have a hole with Assassin's Creed. So I'm thinking, if there's any time to slide on in there, boom, surprise Prince of Persia game.
That'd be awesome.
They've been working on it. Here it is this fall.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Who makes it though?
I don't know. Ubisoft.
Ubisoft makes it.
One of their 400 studios.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out like who makes it and like where it comes from. I don't know that Prince of Persia has any resonance. I think there's going to be a fall game, but I think it's going to be Watch Dogs. I don't. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
The thing with Prince of Persia is it's been gone for so long, but that's one of those franchises that at any moment it can come back. And I feel like it will at some point. Now that Jake Gyllenhaal is moving on to the Division.
Yeah, no, he's taking as a curse to that game.
Yeah. Hopefully it leaves a nice little space for a good Prince of Persia.
A Prince of Persia game would be dope if they were like, that would be awesome. That would be fucking rad if they came out and said that. Yeah.
I'm assuming Rayman will get something too.
Oh,
it's been a while.
Let it go
since Legends. So no, Rayman games are excellent.
No, they're not. They're games.
What are you talking about?
They're pretty. Okay, fine.
No, but they're awesome. They are awesome games. You're a hater, Greg.
I am a hater. You're right. No, I admit 100% that I'm a hater of that and Crash Bandicoot.
Oh my God.
Fucking.
Why am I your friend?
Let him go.
I don't even know.
Let something die for a change,
But the Rayman games did it well. He died. They brought him back and made good games.
Rayman was great. Those two games were great.
Didn't like them.
You like them?
Yeah, they were awesome. You're crazy about
You
that.
got Colin Moriarty on your side. Good job.
Good. I feel like a winner today.